Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Patrice. A few days ago, I unboxed the Xtool F1 Diode infrared laser, and I absolutely love this laser. I love the portability of it. Well, Xtool also sent me the extension, and I didn't have a chance to unbox everything at once. So today we're going to unbox the Xtool extension slider for the F1. Now, why do you need it? With the F1, you only have, it looks maybe like about a 4.5 by 4.5 amount of space. So with the extension, you're actually able to engrave and cut wider pieces of material. So today we are going to get it out of the box. We're going to see what it's about. We're going to set it up with the F1, and we're also going to do a test cut. All right, so let's get started. All right, guys, so let's open up our package. This is, again, the F1 slide extension by Xtool. This is an added part to the F1. It does not come with your F1. You do have to purchase this separately, but we're going to get ready and get this opened up. Of course, Xtool always packages their stuff really well, and here are the instructions. I always find their instructions very easy to read, and they also have some visuals, which I really like. All right, so here is the actual extension tool. This is the slide extension, and it literally slides. These are the different parts. There's rollers, so we're just going to have to roll that on top of the base plate. Of course, you want the logo of the company to be right side up, facing the front. We have a cord to connect the machine, the F1, to the slider, and we also have these clamps, and these clamps are for materials. There's two different types of clamps, so I will need to check and see what those clamps are for, what type of material, and we have that ruler. That's also just to help us align our materials up when we get ready to cut or engrave or whatever it is you're going to do with your Xtool F1. All right, so I just slid that on. Those rollers on the side will help to just glide it over easily on top of that base plate, and also I'm just placing the ruler on and tightening it up for now. Soon we'll have to adjust it to align it in the correct position, but here we are just making sure that we pull this forward, and it needs to be on the second line. So both sides of the base plate has two lines. It needs to be aligned to the second line. Now we're just going to plug this into the machine. The other part is right on the extension. It's right on the side, kind of side bottom of the extension, and this is how you're going to connect your machine to your extension. All right, guys, so we're going to get ready to make something. We're going to leave this up, and now we're going to turn it on. So with the extension, you do need to make sure that you are probably still in a ventilated area. We're going to be running the air filter. However, this is still open. So I don't know how much is going to be able to come out of the machine. All right, guys, so we have the Xtool F1 on. I have the protective covering lifted because that is the only way that we'll be able to actually use the extension. Now, you want to make sure that you're in a ventilated area. Even though we're still going to be using the air purifier, some of those fumes and everything is still going to escape. So we definitely want to make sure that we are in a safe place. But let's get ready to head over to Xtool Creative Space and see what we're going to make today. Okay, y'all, so now we're inside of Xtool Creative Space, and we need to adjust the machine. We're already connected to the F1, but over here we need to select where it says laser flat. Click that drop down, and we are going to select laser extension. Okay, and so once we select laser extension, that lets the software know that we will be using the laser extension that comes along with it. So at the top, we have a notification that we need to follow the calibration guide strictly before using the slide extension. So let's go ahead and select go. Okay, so these are just instructions for things that we need to do. We need to align the right edge of the movable ruler with scale 0 of the slide extension, and then we're going to tighten the screw. Then it also says align the vertical line on the side of the slide extension with the edge of the removable base plate of Xtool F1 and align the side of the slide extension with the second line ruler. Alright y'all, so here's the calibration guide, and we are going to head back over to the machine. We're going to look at these instructions and we're going to adjust the slider. Alright, so first up we're going to move this right where we have the 0, and this is where the 0 is on the machine. And then we need to tighten the screw. Alright, the next thing to do, which we've already done, is to align the slider with both of these lines here on the plate. So this is the second line, and we're going to make sure that it's aligned with the second line on the plate, and it is. Alright, so now we're going to move the slider over, and we just want to make sure the slider or the ruler is aligned with the laser properly. And okay, so we see our blue and we see our red. Now we're going to turn the focus knob until they are aligned. You see the little red moving. If you can, I want to bring you guys closer. So this is what I'm doing. And I am just making sure that these two dots are together, and that looks to be perfect. It's right there on that line, so this is exactly where I want it to be. Alright, so the next thing is for us to make sure that these screws are tightened, and of course Xtool always provides us with the tools that we need. This is loose, so we need to just make sure that we tighten it, not too tight, but tight enough. Alright, that looks good. Now we're going to slide this over, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so now I'm going to head back to the software to click next. Alright, so we're going to click next. So make sure that you follow the steps and then click next. Alright, so we're going to click next.
So this is part 3, and the blue laser line is aligning itself with the ruler, and this is a part of the calibration process.
So next moves everything. And it is telling me that I need to tighten the right screw a little bit more. And now we're going to click complete. And it is telling me that I need to tighten the right screw a little bit more. And now we're going to click complete. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to select the material, and the material that we're going to be using is 3mm basswood, and we are going to select that. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to import our design. I'm going to select image, and then we're going to select downloads, and we're going to bring in our latest set of files. Alright, so I'm actually going to turn this file, and I still have everything selected. Okay, we have everything selected. And then I'm going to make this a tad bit larger. Alright, so we're going to put this here. Now we need to let the software know what we want to do. So for this red outline, we're actually going to be cutting it. That is the cut line. Okay, so we're just going to select that, and we're going to select cut. For the blue line that's highlighting blue right here, we are actually going to be engraving all of that. So all of that is engraved, including all of the inside is going to be engraved as well. Alright guys, so everything is pretty much set. I set everything on different levels or different layers. So the first layer is going to be the writing. The second layer is going to be the inside of the cut, and that's going to be engraved. So we have two parts that are engraving, and then the third layer is going to be our cut layer, which is the green layer. Alright, so we're going to get ready to frame it and then begin processing it. Alright guys, so now we're ready to set our material onto the extender, and we're going to want to place some of the clamps on, and these clamps will help everything stay in place, especially how this is. Once it starts moving, it's not all the way down, so we definitely want to make sure that it is clamped on here. Alright, I probably should have read the instructions on how to use these, but this is how we're going to use it. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to clamp. I'm going to loosen that up a bit. I guess we're going to clamp it like that. And we're going to tighten that up. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So these are different. And I just need to see exactly how it's supposed to be used. But we're going to do it like this. Alright, so now we're going to head back to the machine or to the computer, and we're going to frame it. Okay, so we have everything set up, and now we're going to select framing on the computer, and that should move the extender in place. Alright guys, so this is the framing, and we're starting it kind of up here, so hopefully that will cut. But as I move it down, you will see that it will eventually stop going. That's going to let us know that it's in the correct position. So now we're going to stop framing, and we are going to select process. Okay, so next we're going to select start, and we're going to head back to the machine. With this being open frame pretty much at this point, I do have my laser shades just to protect my eyes. You always want to make sure you're protecting yourself when using these types of machines. Alright guys, so I have my shades on, and we're going to get ready to... It should have come on, but it didn't. We're going to actually get ready to begin cutting. And so now we're going to press the focus button for us to start. Alright y'all, before we get started, this is a warning. The protective cover is lifted up. However, I'm still recording so that anyone who wants to see how it goes will be able to see it, but there will be a light show. The laser is going to be in motion, and this may cause headaches. This may trigger other things if you have sensitivity to light and that sort of thing. I have my protective gear on, but I just want to let y'all know and just warn y'all before it begins. Alright guys, so we are all done, and as y'all saw, there was tons of smoke, and maybe next time it doesn't need to be so high. Those settings could be a little less, but nonetheless we cut it, and I'm glad that we have the air filter. But if you are in a confined area, you want to make sure you're near a window or outside. But that cut really good. It cut good. We do have some charring here, a little bit of charring there, but not much charring on the back, very little. And here is our sign. This is what it looks like. I think it came out pretty good. The engraving looks good. Now, of course, you can adjust that to whatever you want. Like if you want it to go in deeper, to get darker or lighter, that's up to you. But this cut and engrave took 39 minutes, and I think that was kind of long. But I don't think the problem was the machine. I think that I should have just, all of the engraving, instead of having it on 2 different layers, I should have had it on 1 layer and just all grouped together so that it wasn't engraving all over the place. So that took up a lot of time too. But for the most part, it looks really good. And the extender worked beautifully. All right, y'all, so we're all done, and y'all, that was not as hard as I thought it was going to be. So setting up the extension was super easy. I followed the directions to a T, and I did not have any issues with setting this machine up. I think it's an excellent addition to the F1, especially with the F1 being so portable, being able to take it out. You can go to craft shows, garage, or whatever it is that you're into. Like if you want to customize things at your place of employment, maybe small pins or tumblers or cups or whatever it is that you do, you can literally take this with you wherever you go. It's very lightweight, so I like that. The extension is also not too big, but you can take this with you as well. I like the extension because now I'm able to engrave or cut onto items that are wider than it's like about 4.5 by 4.5. I'm sure Xtool and their specifications online has exactly the correct dimensions for the plate size that you can use without the extension. But with this extension, it just opens up so many possibilities of being able to do so many different things, and definitely taking this with you. So if you like to do sales, like outside sales, farmers markets, craft sales, whatever, this is perfect. A link to everything that I used today will be listed below in the description. However, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to head over to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and join the Craftable Things communities there as well. But that's it for today, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.